Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back, Professor Pollock.
Thank you!
Before we even talk about the methods, approaches or ways translators use at work, could you take us through the distinction between translation as an art and translating as a science? Basically, for ordinary people, science is a set of non-negotiable rules, while they often tend to equate art with imagination and creativity.
I will ask you a question. If you want to buy a comfortable sofa for your new home, do you go to the car mechanic or to the carpenter?
The carpenter, of course. Car mechanics are skillful only with car maintenance.
And, let us carry the analogy a little bit further. There are two carpenters in the city and both sell at roughly the same price. To whom would you go?
Well, I will need a comfortable sofa, but one that matches the interior design of the house as well. I guess I would go to the one who is known for creativity and imagination.
Here we are. The reason you go to a carpenter is science. Carpenters know the rules of their job. A book that explains the basics of woodwork could be enough for a man to learn how to begin working as a carpenter.
And I choose between two carpenters, because of art.
Well, you've said it. I cannot agree with you more. The English word for the Arabic mustashfayat is hospitals. This is science. When an Arabic sentence indicates an action that happened and ended in the past, you use an English translation, the past simple. This is science. And, when you translate a promotional booklet for a company to market its products. Now, when the company's sole interest is to make non-English speakers buy its products, then, you do follow the rules of grammar and semantics, but you also add your artistic touches to the translation.
So, every translation is both a science and art. Is that what you wanted to say?
Correct!
Could you give us clearer examples?
Sure. First of all, let us agree that science means a set of rules that the vast majority, if not all, of people agree to. Art, on the other hand, is something subjective, even at times, idiosyncratic. A good example of the difference between art and science relates to faithfulness. If we stick to the letter of the original message, then we are trying to abide by science. If we are adding, omitting, embellishing, modifying or changing things in the message, then this is art. At court, when a suspect is making his testimony through an interpreter, do you think the interpreter can add artistic touches to the message exchanged?
I suspect the judge wants to hear everything said verbatim.
Bingo! On the other hand, if a client approaches you to translate his Arabic book in a way that makes it seem as if written in English, then what should you do?
Now, I get it. Artistic touches will be the criterion. During the break, I received a message from a viewer. He asks I am currently getting a training on translation. So, should I first stick to literal translation then learn free translation, or should I learn the other way around?
Well, this question cannot be answered directly. First of all, the trainee must make sure that he is using the science of translating. Most importantly, he must use correct grammar, vocabulary and idioms.
Sorry to interrupt. What book can the trainee use in his beginnings?
Because we care about translating as a science. I strongly recommend trainees to master the skills taught in a book called Building Skills for the TOEFL Test by Carol King and Nancy Stanley. It is an old publication of Longman. I cannot stress enough that clients will reject the translation if they find grammar errors in it.
But, the client would be happy with a grammar-free translation.
Not so fast. If the translation, as a product, is not beautiful, guess what? He may reject it, on the claim that it is a machine translation.
Whoa. Are you kidding me? So, what is the next step for a student after learning about the science?
If he knows the science, he should work on translating texts under the supervision of the mentor. The mentor would assess the level of the trainee, then give him assignments to translate. At level 1, the trainee translates straightforward texts, something that needs only the science. Gradually, the mentor would inject other assignments that require artistic touches, then he would teach the trainee some workarounds and tricks.
I see.
At the advanced level, the trainee must translate in the way he likes, then have his work checked by a native speaker. Honestly, until this moment, I always send out my translation for the revision of a native English-speaking editor. And I learn a lot.
It seems to be a life-learning job.
Yes, we all learn, every single day. It never stops. Never.
Thank you, Professor Pollock. It has been a very informative talk with you.
Thank you too.
Thank you, our dearest viewers. In the coming days, Professor Pollock is going to record and broadcast lectures on translation and translating. Make sure you follow him. Bye-bye.